Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to Four Guys in a Bar podcast, sponsored by Chiefs Blitz and presented by Dave Purdy with Supreme Lending. For your mortgage solutions, call Dave today at 816-405-5831. That's 816-405-5831 because he's pretty good. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, at ChiefsBlitz, our YouTube channel, at ChiefsBlitz on Twitter, at ChiefsBlitz on Facebook. Please follow us. I am your host, Nick Athan, and joined by my partner and producer extraordinaire, Mr. Hense Todd of Bowtie Sports, LLC. Check out his show every Saturday, 1 o'clock Central Time, with the coach, Andre Tillman. They stretch the boundaries. It's a lot of fun. And it's certainly worth an hour of your day, hour and a half of your Saturday to watch one heck of a show. And with that, I'm going to talk about our first sponsor, and that would be my good friend, Mr. Eric Hense, with the Eric Hense Group. He is your trusted real estate advisor. He is my trusted real estate advisor. If you're looking for someone who's going to walk you through the process. Now, buying a house, it sounds simple. It used to be simple. You used to walk into your bank, you'd find a realtor, you'd get a house, you'd be done in about 10 minutes. Doesn't work that way anymore. Far too many details. And you want someone detailed oriented that's going to make sure that by the time you make an offer on a house and go all the way through the process and get your keys, everything has been handled. And that's Mr. Eric Hense. So give Eric a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him real simple, esaleskc@gmail.com. He's your one-stop shop and the best real estate advisor I know. Give Eric a call again at 816-729-3785.
Proud sponsor, Chief Who?
Proud sponsor of Chiefs Who. And with that, we're bringing in the other two members of the show, Mr. Lou Montagna and the coach, Mr. Andre Tillman. Gentlemen, I hope you had a great weekend. Got a lot of honey-do list stuff done, working on the house stuff, spend time with the family. Hope you guys had a great weekend.
Most definitely.
Had a great weekend. I ended up in the ER yesterday, but
geez,
great weekend.
Oh wow. Well, you're here today, so I guess it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad. Just my asthma just was bothering me.
Yeah. This is
the
time. I feel your pain, brother. This is definitely the time. The time of the year.
It's that soccer excitement. It was that soccer excitement. That's what it was, man. It was, bro. It's different from Arrowhead, man. It's different from Arrowhead. I'll tell you that.
Now, that's one atmosphere that I would say I love. I would say I love the soccer atmosphere. Like it just keep going. If you ain't been to a soccer game, you need to get to one.
Do you sing? Do you sing the songs in the stands?
Yeah.
Ole, ole, ole.
Yeah, just like that.
They had the drums and stuff going. The kids, them kids be in it. They be really into. So
it's too bad they had scab officials and blew that game, because that game should have been over about a minute before they tied the score. It's abomination for the MLS right now. Can't get their house in order. They don't have a contract with the umpires and the referees, and don't get me started on FIFA officials. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. The most corrupt unit in all of professional sports.
Well, I say this. Me, you, and Dre, because Lou's is far out. So we got to take all our boys.
Far away.
So we got to take all our boys to we got to take them to one of the games to let them see. I know Nick and boys already been out.
Sporting KC. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Sporting KC. Yep.
All right. So Friday I took a ride down south. When I say down south, for me, it's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Got to see one of my favorite artists for the second time, Trombone Shorty.
Nice.
An amazing show. Just the guys that, I mean, if you like horns, it's like 2 hours of nonstop just entertainment. And at the beginning, where he does like a rendition of Let's Go Crazy, My World's Merged. Huge Prince fan here, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. But that was huge. And then, you got to bring
the picture on the show. You got to bring the picture on the show.
Steeler Hall of Famer Mel Blount was in the house. So it was a pretty cool night. And
there were Blounts involved, correct?
Look at Nick. Look at Nick.
Good one. Right under the rug.
I am not that old.
Ring him up. Ring him up.
The rug right from under him.
Ring him up. Dad joke. Let's go, Nick. Bam.
Ring him up. It's that joke.
Yeah. I might be old, but I'm not dead yet, so all good.
And the NFL descended upon Indianapolis, and there was a lot of it on TV, so that was good too.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah.
So also before we get into the show, Nick has a lot of collection that he posts, out there.
Gosh, we're going there.
For sale. So out for sale. So if you guys are looking,
we're hucksters now.
He got the stuff for you. He got the goods for you.
Everything but Priest Holmes. All right.
He's got the Priest Holmes
coming to your boy. I'm all Priest with this one. I'm all Priest Holmes.
Yeah. Now, just really quick, I have decided to sell my immense collection of over 1,000 pieces. Go to my Facebook page. Contact me. Let me know what you want. I am not putting this all out on eBay, or I'm just going to do it the hard way, section by section. So, okay, enough about that. If anyone's interested, IM me, email me, FaceTime me, whatever it is.
We're not going to do like a QVC segment on our show. We can display.
I mean, I guess it would be kind of fun actually, and I could tell stories about some of the stuff I acquired. Okay, maybe we can do that.
We are here.
Trent
to
Green sip from this cup, guys. Trent Green sip from this cup, guys.
So like
give
this
you a
right
great
here?
deal.
Anybody remember this?
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
That's the original Chiefs bobblehead right there.
Damn.
Oh,
look at that.
1,200. 1,200 right there.
I'm not selling that. No. There's some.
I'm about to say,
I'm not selling that.
No, I'm not selling that.
Hey, we want to see that. We want to see that Prince picture. I want to see the.
I've got the upgraded version, but it still has the same face.
The one, listen, off the bench, on the bench, and off the bench.
Nice.
He's reaching for that goal line, baby.
Yeah, hold on to that. Hold on to that football.
He's no McCole Hardman.
I'll tell you what.
It's glued. Stick'em time.
Let's get it.
Oh, is that a Buffalo cup that you drinking out of?
No, it's my Miracle on Ice USA.
Hell no. Okay. Come on.
I have a large collection of this. I have a large collection of memorabilia from that too.
Dilly, he got a Buffalo scheme cup.
No.
Look at Drake.
Yeah, this cup is courtesy of the guys at USA Hockey. They sent this to me, so I appreciate that.
All right. So real quick, guys, Kareem says this real quick, man. He says, so let me guess. Now y'all finally on the worthy train, huh?
Yeah. We are. Before we get into that, though, I do want to mention yesterday. I like to stay positive, but we lost a legend yesterday. Mr. Chris Mortensen from ESPN. If anybody who's watched the NFL draft, who watched the NFL before cable was really a big deal, and you had to listen to your local sports broadcast, hopefully once a month, Chris Mortensen came on. He passed away at the age of 72. He had a lengthy battle with cancer as well. And, he was the best of the best. When Chris Mortensen said something, it was true. If he reported something, it was legit. And, back in the day when the NFL draft started covering on, I think it was an ESPN in the early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It was him and Mel Kiper. And I've told you about Mel Kiper. You could call him up in St. Louis. He'd pick up the phone and talk to you. And ESPN and Chris Mortensen were hand in hand. And then Adam Schefter comes along and kind of stole the thunder, and they ended up working together for the last 10 years. And he's going to be missed. This is the first NFL draft I can remember that Chris Mortensen will not be involved in. He was involved in the one in Kansas City. And, my hearts and prayers to his family, the folks at ESPN, and all the broadcasters and all the people that knew him, top shelf. We've lost John Clayton. We've lost him. We lost Stuart Scott. Guys are legends in the industry. And it's really sad. So now I feel old today because of this. But, Chris was one of the great guys. And I just want to pass my condolences to his family and to all those who have access to YouTube. I highly recommend it. Get as many Chris Mortensen videos and watch them, especially the early ones. And you're going to see what a class act he was. And he's going to be sorely missed in our industry.
I think one of the best ones, and I think maybe one of the funniest ones, after the fact is when he's interviewing Bill Tobin, GM of the Indianapolis Colts. And Mel had like just raked them over the coals for like, I think they took Trev Alberts, linebacker from Nebraska, instead of taking Trent Dilfer because they needed a quarterback. And Mort is sitting there with Bill Tobin, and just this guy looked like he had a drink in his hand. Who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? But the cool thing about Mort Report, however you know him, is that all the comments coming out don't just talk about the information that he was breaking. It was just about every single one mentioned how caring he was, how supportive he was, no matter how the age of the person, no matter how long they've been in the business, always, kind words, guys talking about, the DMs just out of the blue saying, how much he respected the work that they did. Just a very cool dude. And yeah, I mean, he's going to be missed. I mean, that was always, the highlight, because they're, pre-internet, you'd wait for guys like this. And even before him, Will McDonough, Pete Axthelm. I mean, guys that, Nick probably remembers them, but not many of you out there. But these were guys that were known as insiders, if you would. And they were the, true reporters. Right. And he's going to be missed.
Sad to see him go. I watched him growing up as a kid, seeing him on ESPN, getting out of school, watching. These are the guys that made me want to watch.
These are guys that we grew up on, man. These are the guys that was an anchor. And shout out to Stu Scott too, man. Man, those are guys that you really like. Can't wait to see and hear from them, the information. Right. But them are true legends, man. So sad to see him go. Sad to see him go, man.
Yeah. But another news, we have a little breaking news with Mike, not Mike Evans, but Jason Kelce retiring. What you guys think about that?
But the crazy part about it is, if he was to sign with Kansas City, I could see that, man. That would have been legendary, man. Go last hoorah with your brother. You go out there, man, and you play together. That would have been something to see, man. I would love to see it, but again, you could tell Jason Kelce was about done, especially in Philly. He was about done in Philly, man, because they didn't have no. Then I don't know. The aura was gone. So
well, it was kind of I thought it was kind of a surprise that he came back for this season, but they, obviously getting so close the previous year, and losing in the fashion that they did, I'm sure that had a lot to do with his decision. But great career, Hall of Famer for sure. You're talking about the combine, the notes on him coming out of there were, it was not highly regarded at all. And Coach Andy Reid and that Philadelphia staff, had faith in him. They brought him back. They brought him to Philadelphia, and the rest is history. And just kudos to him to doing it the right way and just doing it his way. If that to I guess to quote a term there, but he is he's a character, and there's not many of those in the NFL. They tend to come from the offensive line, but I think he and Travis at some point, there will be a Kelce cast to go up against the Manning cast, and they will compete for eyeballs because they're both hilarious in their own ways.
Yes, they are.
Give me a minute. We lost Nick for a minute, and I gotta fix everything back.
Sorry about that.
I think he's back in, but there we go.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We are having power outages here. It's 100-mile-an-hour winds. Just kidding, but about 50. So backup generator kicked on and kicked off and kicked back on. So apologize for that.
Shout out to Generac.
Generac.
That's that may be our new sponsor.
Generac
at some point.
Shout out to Generac, man. Generac.
Nick froze up again. He's there. He's not there. He's there.
He's there.
Just leave stuff alone.
I ain't touching nothing else.
Don't move. Just
Freeze.
Speaking of Jason Kelsey, man, and like that would have been great to have him and his brother play together. But hey, like Dre said, he's a Hall of Famer. He played a good, and he got a ring. So that would have been nice to have both.
That would have been not enough money for the Chiefs to be able to do something like that. I would assume that Jason, considered playing with his brother, but his wife Kylie has kind of wanted him to retire the last 2-3 years, and if the Chiefs weren't willing to give him big money, and the Eagles probably would have, I just think his body said enough. He's going to become a rich man, being on television, and I would not rule out the possibility of the Kelsey brothers doing a Kelsey show. Very similar, like maybe on Thursday Night Football, even while
it's as if Nick was
Jason's
listening to the show.
Oh, sorry. Did you guys say that? Did you say that already? My bad.
It did come up, but I wholeheartedly a Kelsey cast, whether on one of them.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, it'd be a different style. It would be more like
it'd be more animated. It'll be more animated.
PG-13 to R-rated, where the Mannings is like almost G-rated. But
absolutely,
those guys will be funny. And if anybody has the chance to do it, and would never, compare him at this point, but you just see the path that 10, 15 years from now, he'll be regarded like John Madden.
Oh yeah.
Just the personality, everything about it, being animated, being a former offensive lineman, and, 15 years from now, they'll even wonder if he ever played the game.
Yeah, he may not be able to chug beers like he does now in the next 10 to 15 years or so. But for right now, hey, God love him. He's a great personality. Great personality.
The opportunity will be there.
We're going to miss him, and I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of him in Kansas City, which is great for Chiefs fans because he's obviously with Travis, adopted us, and the Taylor connection and everything else. He's part of the Chiefs kingdom and always will be.
The circus gets bigger. Here we go.
Circus gets bigger. Yeah. Wait till they get a condo in Kansas City too. Who knows?
Move in with Travis. What the hell?
Move in with Travis.
I like that. I like that title. Moving in with Travis.
That'd be a great reality show.
It will be moving in with Travis.
Let's work on that.
I like that. I got you.
So what y'all think about Mike Evans? We thought he would be coming here in uniform. A lot of people thought that was going to be happening, but he signs a 2-year deal with the Buccaneers. What you say about that, Lou?
A lot of money. God bless him. Buccaneers stepped up. I think I don't know that he was going to get that on the open market. Maybe some team would have sprung for that. Kansas City certainly isn't and wasn't going to. But it's great to see, somebody that's played for one team for so long and been so good that they kind of reward him as he nears the end of, we think, the end of his career, because, he's going to be 30, 31, 32 years old if he makes it to the second year of the contract. I mean, 35 million guaranteed. So you got to believe Baker Mayfield will re-sign now. That maybe you would think that would be the next step for them. But not many. I mean, we went in thinking that T. Higgins was going to be available, that Mike Evans was going to be available, that Michael Pittman Jr. was going to be available, and it looks like Higgins is tagged. I think they'd be open to trading him.
Not to us, but yeah.
Right. Pittman Jr. probably going to get tagged, or he's going to get an extension, one or the other. And now Evans certainly is off the board. So
not much left.
Yeah. But I guess the takeaway for me is the fact the amount of money and guaranteed that he got at his age. God bless him.
God bless him. Yeah. I mean, the Bucks were, the Bucks are in a terrible division, and they need everybody. All hands on deck, and they can win the division. And I think having Mike Evans back was key. And I think that, he took the money. His agent came out Saturday and Sunday, and, our good friend Jordan Schultz reported that, he was looking not to play for a rookie quarterback. He wants to win a Super Bowl, and that pushed the Bucks to make this offer. And, rumor was he wanted a 3 to 4 year deal. He settled for 2.
Right.
Baker Mayfield is probably next, but he wants real quarterback money too. So it's not a given that he'll be back. But if they're going to make the commitment in those 2, then I'd say they're the favorite to win the NFC South and certainly can win a playoff game, at least one. Having the offense back together, but he clearly took the money, and kudos to him, because they can talk all they want to about winning a Super Bowl and a ring. They want the Benjamins. They all do. And very few guys understand the commitment it takes to give up the money, and a lot of them aren't going to do it. So, hey, he's not going to be a Chief. Never thought he would be. I'd rather have Lockett, to be honest with you, if he gets cut by Seattle. If you're going to get a guy at that age bracket, I think he'd be a better fit.
I don't want
certainly not nearly as expensive.
Right.
Yeah. Lockett's underrated though. Lockett's so underrated though.
Underrated, top rated. I just want to go young. You know what I mean? Like they did with the DB room. Just go young. Do what the Packers did. See what you got. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good wide receivers coming out this draft. So why not just go young? That's the route I would go. Mike Evans and all these guys and big money deals and all this. We don't need that right about now, because we got Kareem Humphrey, Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, all those guys. Contracts gonna be coming up pretty soon. So if I'm Brett Veach, if I do go get a veteran wide receiver, I'll go get a Hollywood Brown, somebody that caliber. Somebody like that. Speed, fast. Or bring back Nicole Hardman and give him a second chance.
So I want you to go Lockett though. You said Hollywood Brown. Why not Lockett then?
No, man. I ain't trying to. I don't think Lockett's that.
You don't think Lockett?
I'm not typically a statistics guy, but if you certainly can't ignore it that he's been a hell of a lot more productive than any of the guys that you mentioned. I mean, McCole Hardman. I mean, he made a couple big plays.
I'm talking about like money wise.
I understand, but I don't think they'd have to break the bank for Tyler Lockett. I would say that what they paid MVS, so that would be a nice replacement. That doesn't mean they're not going to draft wide receivers. I mean, sure, they're going to go young, Hense, but I would imagine at least one free agent veteran to bring into the room, right? You want to have one veteran presence that not just on the field but off the field, right?
Travis Kelce is the wide receiver room, tight end presence. That's all you need. You know what I mean? Then if the Lions, if they trade for Snead and they send over Jameson Williams in the
I'm all in.
We all in.
I'm all in. Who the hell is why would they trade Jameson Williams? They just they use draft capital to take him in the top 10. Hey, guys, stay off Twitter.
You want the best cover.
You know what? I say this, guys, get the best quality guy that you can trust. Yeah. Lockett been hands down a guy you can trust. Even with Russell Wilson's over there. You thought about Lockett, it's for sure catch.
Yeah, he can run every route in around 3. It's not an either or. I mean, they're gonna draft somebody. And
they are going to draft somebody, but why not get a veteran?
Bring in a veteran? So
right, that's what I'm saying, Luke. Why not get a veteran and lock and then draft? You still can draft a receiver.
Lockett's third.
That's why I said I'm bringing a veteran, because you're going to stun everybody else's growth.
You might too. Hey, Lockett's 32. He's got a $28 million cap hit from Seattle. There's no way.
No, leave him where he is.
Yeah, he's not. There's no way they can afford that.
So Justin Jefferson was to come over to Kansas City. Is that going to stop?
24 years old.
Yeah, he's 8 years younger.
That's apples and oranges. But they're not.
We all had more hair 8 years ago. I mean,
they're not paying. The Chiefs aren't paying him that money, and neither is Seattle. That's the point. Is if he gets cut.
Hold on. The question is, what's in that cup? It's tasting very sippy. What is it, Dre?
What's in my cup? I got honey, lemon, lime, and cinnamon.
Nice.
So
let's get right into the next.
Is it like iced tea?
Kind of like
nice.
Like iced tea.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see what the comment section say real quick.
Hold on.
All right. Before we do the comment section, I want to talk about my our other corporate sponsor, Mr. Dave Purdy. Dave is your expert when it comes to mortgages, trying to find the right loan that fits your current situation when you're out there trying to buy a house. Doesn't matter if you're W-2 or 1099 like myself. It's a lot more difficult, and it's a lot more difficult to get a loan these days with all the extra paperwork and all the price points and the costs and everything you have to go through. You just need someone who can get you through the waters, smooth sailing down the road, get you finance, and get you into your dream house. You want to give Dave Purdy a call at 816-405-5831. And remember, interest rates are good. They're not great, but that doesn't matter. A lot of people have high interest credit cards. It might be time to refinance, put everything together. It's an election year, so rates are certainly going to likely come down as they have in the past every time this year. So with that said, you got to find someone who's going to get you through the process, and Dave Purdy's that man. So give him a call at 816-405-5831. We love Dave because he is pretty good.
Now dig it. Real quick in the comment section. Kareem says Lockett will be good, but definitely needs to happen is Macklin needs to be brought in as a receivers coach.
I would take
so he's on board with Lockett, and he said bring Macklin as a wide receiver coach.
Yeah.
Is Jeremy a coach?
He knows the wide receiver position.
Yeah, he does.
Very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was advocating for Eddie Kennison a few years ago, and he spent the summer up there in training camp, and they didn't keep him. So I kind of wish they would have. I think he would have been a great wide receiver coach, but they need to. I mean, I think that's one area on the coaching staff that I think that, they need some help with. And
do you think they would have done that by now if they were going to, or do you think there's still a chance they make some moves?
No, I think there's still a chance. They usually don't announce anything until closer to the start of free agency when it comes to their coaching staff. Now they've announced some of the extensions. Now, Dave Merritt, I reported a couple weeks ago, I thought he had an extension, but basically after he tore into the San Francisco 49ers on that radio podcast, there wasn't much of a chance he was getting that job, and they ended up going in-house. But I think Dave Merritt's next to get a contract extension, so they're going to keep the defense together. I think on the offense, there still might be a change or two. I'm just not sure at this point.
Mm-hmm. So looking at that, man, speaking of receivers, everybody wants this guy, that guy, but it's guys that's coming out the draft that's highly on the radar. Some guys that me and Dre been highly covering. Some guys that Lou brought up on the show. Some guys, some of the guys that the guys brought up on in the chat. But one guy that Kareem and Nick has been highly on is Xavier Worthy. And boy, oh boy, did he kill the bank. Did he go in and steal the show? Man, even Tyreek Hill said he was fast. That speaks words. So what you guys say about that?
I mean, you need the Speed Racer theme to come on right now because, I mean, my goodness, Worthy goes out and does what, a 4.24 or something like that, or 3?
Or 2.1.
Yeah. And no, I'm saying then he came back and did it a second time to get the 4.21. I mean, he's fast. And, if it wasn't for that, Brian Thomas Jr. would have been the talk of the combines. And so have to look at this. If you look at this from the Chiefs' perspective, I mean, Worthy's probably going to be there at 32. I don't think there's much of a question about that because the NFL scouts love his speed, but he's not a big guy. I mean, he's not a big muscular guy. He kills you with that speed and route running. Does that make him a number one receiver? It probably doesn't. And there are questions about, his ability to go over the middle. He was phenomenal at Texas, but if the Chiefs are sitting at 32 and they have the chance to get either one of these guys,
32 and 27.
Yeah, well, that's if they trade Snead, which, I don't know. I can't get anybody. I'd say it's 50-50 at this point. But this wide receiver class, I mean, put that back up. I mean, this class, just at the top 10 guys, those are guys.
Also, Walker too. A lot of people.
Well, that doesn't include Harrison or Neighbors.
Yeah,
they weren't there.
Exactly. So you're talking about 12 wide receivers. The top 12 are probably going to
actually more because Keon Coleman did not run fast, so his name isn't up there.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is you got 12, 13, 14, 15 guys receivers that are probably going to go in the first 3 rounds. So the Chiefs could conceivably get a couple of them if they wanted to. And they're probably outside of the top 2 or 3. There's probably not a lot of separation between 3 going down, or 3 or 4 going down to 14 or 15. Again, it also depends on, look at the Apuka. He went to the right team, in a late round, and he was successful. And these receivers have to go to the right teams. Just look at the kid from Pittsburgh. He just struggles because he's on the wrong team. And you find, and I think even
Hense's got that's both guys.
Hey, bring George Pickens over here.
Pickens. Sorry, I mean Pickens struggled. Pickens struggled mightily, for a lot of reasons. He's not a good fit for that team. I'm surprised we haven't heard any talk about him possibly, getting traded. Not that he would be traded to the Chiefs, but it's the same with quarterbacks now. Wide receivers are in the same boat. You have to go to the right quarterback and the right offensive team to be successful. If you don't, you're going to labor and you're going to struggle. And if you're going to come to Kansas City, there's one thing you have to have above anything else. You got to be smart. You got to be able to dissect the playbook. If you watch the Chiefs, watch their games over and over and over and over again, watch what the wide receivers do when they don't have the ball in their hands and the responsibility. Decoy on routes, kind of cut in front of the intended receiver to kind of throw off the defense without hitting him. Block downfield, be a decoy. Those are things you have to learn over time, and you have to have the ability to understand that playbook. Andy Reid's playbook is like this thick, and then the funny plays are probably about that thick. So it's a lot to decipher. And but this draft class has me excited. And if Worthy's there, you put Worthy and Mahomes together, even if he's a third down receiver, with Rice and whomever else they grab in free agency, but maybe they get a Tyler Boyd, bring that veteran presence in. Man, oh man, that offense is going to be sick. Going to be absolutely sick.
Also, they got lost on that list too is Troy Franklin.
Yeah,
Troy Franklin ran a 4.41. That's pretty good. A lot of people ain't talking about the guy Walker from North Carolina. He's a pretty good wide receiver. If you go down and look at his tape,
he's pretty good. But
I think he had a tough. I'm gonna tell you, tough Senior Bowl week, and I think the shine kind of came off.
That's fine,
even though he played really well.
Yeah, he'll be there late second round or third round.
I'm gonna say Xavier Leggett has not been talked about, and that guy can get busy. You can put that guy inside or outside. That guy actually out this top 10 out that picture. Xavier Leggett stands out to me because in the real game, a lot of size. Look, and he runs a 4.3 at his size, and he can get open, and he does got sure hands.
But a guy that also ain't getting talked about too is the guy from Georgia. That kid from Georgia, the routes he run, and he put up the numbers there at 4.39, and he probably be sitting there at the Chiefs. He looking like he looking legit. If you go out there, you watch his game.
He's another guy that didn't get a lot of targets because Georgia, whether it's the offense, they've always had really good receivers. Right. And there's always been one guy where, he was playing behind Pickens and A.D. Mitchell and all these like number one picks. And there, Ladd McConkey is, I think, one of the more interesting parts of the weekend was when Luke McCaffrey and Ladd McConkey were like in line together because they were alphabetically like matched and just watching them run routes and the speed. And I don't know how good Luke McCaffrey is going to be in the NFL, but if bloodlines tell you anything between his dad, his brother, I think he went to Nebraska as a quarterback and then eventually transferred and was at Rice. So didn't see him a whole lot, but again, speed, hands, the whole thing. That guy could be like a late round guy. But yeah, Ladd McConkey, he's another one. There's so many of them that you can kind of, pick and choose, what flavor do you want? And to Nick's point, in the personal meetings, you get a sense, okay, who is going to fit in this room? Who's going to fit with Patrick? So again, I don't know that they can go wrong with any of these guys.
You really
hell,
can't.
You got a kid like Brendan Rice that in most years might be in the top 10, but he's not.
No, I'm gonna say this: anybody with Andy Reid, you put any receivers on this board with Andy Reid and Mahomes, and they're gonna flourish.
On this board,
Andy Reid's a guru of offensive guru. You can put anybody back there, man. So it really doesn't matter with Kansas City Chiefs. You can pick either or, man. They're gonna flourish under Andy Reid, especially with the speed.
I think what we should point out too is to your point, Andre. Look at what Andy Reid did with Rice this year. I mean, he threw him out there, and he gradually, once he got more comfortable with the playbooks, and now he's got a blueprint. Okay, this is how we have to handle it. That's why I think it's important to me that they sign a veteran wide receiver so they have another guy, and they don't put all that pressure. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on Rice, and he delivered. That doesn't mean the next guy is going to be able to. But again, that's the kind of receiver the Chiefs want 3 or 4 of those guys, and I think that's what they're going to take one of these top 10, top 12 wide receivers, maybe 2 of them, depending on the draft falls. They're going to be like Rashee Rice, and that's the team they're going to build. And
now, could the Chiefs? I could see the Chiefs doing what they did with the cornerbacks. They just went cornerback heavy in that one draft, and now they probably go wide receiver heavy. Because if you think about it, they don't have a lot of pieces, but just left tackle, wide receiver, maybe a backup tight end with Travis Kelce, but everything else, maybe a D tackle, maybe. But everything else is locked in. So why not say, hey, one of these guys is going to hit? You know what I mean? So one of them got to hit. I'm taking you, then and see what happens. Yeah, and have a battle.
Take 3 wide receivers, first, second, and third round. If Snead and Jones come back and Tranquil comes back, and maybe they slip Willie Gay in there somewhere, if this defense stays intact, I would go all offense, knowing I've got to go all in for Patrick Mahomes. It eliminates having to rely on Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore, and if you get anything out of those guys, it's just a bonus. But one thing we will not see in Kansas City next year, I'm 100% certain, is you're not going to see 7 or 6 wide receivers active on game days anymore. Andy's going to keep the simplification of the wide receiver crew. He learned his lesson last year by trying to find enough balls for all these guys. The heck with that. Yeah. Put your best athletes on the field, and that's why, Rashee Rice, he was the season savior.
He was a yak guy. A heck of a
yak guy. Without him, they don't win a Super Bowl. They don't get to the playoffs. I'm convinced.
Absolutely. Or we're not discussing tight ends. We said all the receivers. We're not discussing tight ends. Like, they need a tight end behind Travis Kelce. They need another athletic tight end.
Give me Bowers. If all else fails, go Bowers.
That's your guy, Bowers. That's your guy, Bowers, man. That's your guy. If he falls, that'll be a steal for Kansas City.
You know what? If we do a live show, if we do our draft show, maybe we go live and we do it in real time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm telling you, if Bowers is still there at 13, 14, 15, 16, I mean, you're gonna see words come out of my mouth that no one's ever heard before.
I know it is.
I don't care. You mortgage the future. He is.
You never know. He might be.
He may be 6 foot in a coin over. But I'm telling you right now, you take this guy no matter. If you can't get Alt, you get Bowers. Those are the 2 guys in the first round that you go all in for.
There's going to be a lot of defense that falls because it looks really heavy. The offensive line, I don't know if it's because of the 6th year COVID thing or whatever, but you got a ton of offensive linemen that are going to be first round worthy, if you would.
Absolutely.
You got all the receivers.
All right.
You may get as many as 5 quarterbacks, maybe 6 in the first round if teams get a little antsy and want to trade back up. So a lot of offense. So a lot of these defensive players, corners. Quinyon Mitchell, I think, has done more in this offseason to get himself from Toledo.
He did.
He did. One of the top. What he did at the Senior Bowl, and then what he did this past weekend. I mean, he's vaulted himself up into probably the top 15. And he played at Toledo in the MAC. And there was a kid that I think a lot of the big schools were coming at him to transfer his last year. He stayed, and
good for him.
He made it pay off. And like I said, the Senior Bowl weekend and what he did at the combine, he's really vaulted himself up.
And the Chiefs are in a great spot at 32. Let me say this real quick. they're at a great spot at 32 because
True.
if somebody wants that first pick of day 2, they got a better chance getting it from Kansas City than they are going to be trading with I think the Bears for the first pick. So I think for the first time picking last, the Chiefs are in an incredible situation if another team really is desperate to get that player in day one.
Because a lot of teams are desperate for quarterbacks. A lot of teams are desperate for cornerbacks. So this the year the Chiefs happening to need wide receivers beside Rashee Rice, a number 2. We need a number 2. Let's get that clear. A number 2 wide receiver. We have our number 1 in Rice. But again, well, as we look for our number 2 wide receiver, you know what I mean? Hey, you're going to have Franklin sitting there. You're going to have Worthy. I'm just hoping that, you know what I mean, these guys everybody just lock in on Worthy, and then Thomas Jr. just fall right into the Chiefs' lap.
So why do you like Thomas Jr.? So why? Tell me. Give me one reason why you like Thomas Jr. Just give me
17 touchdowns. He runs routes like a small wide receiver in a big body. He's fast, and you see the numbers that he put up at the combine. Like Nick said, if Worthy didn't run that speed like he put out there, everybody be talking about Brian Thomas Jr. right by now.
Yep, I agree.
Everybody be saying the vertical jump, the 10 cone drills, the everything that he did there. Everybody be talking about it. I'm telling you, this guy is legit. If I ain't seen nobody,
you take Thomas first.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to get
Jr. and Neighbors?
You think he's going to get past the Cincinnati? No, I don't think. No. I don't think he's getting past the Cincinnati Bengals.
Thomas doesn't get past. I don't think Thomas gets past 15.
Yeah, the Bengals. If he's on the board, the Bengals.
And I think he was always going to be up there. But see, that's the thing is, I think no matter what the Chiefs do, somebody is going to fall to them, and the league is just going to lose their minds thinking, how the hell did we let this guy fall? No matter who it is, right? Somebody, I mean, 80. I like AD Mitchell. I like, there's a few guys I like. Roman Wilson, I still like him. He might be a little small for a first round pick. Maybe if,
I like him too. I like him a lot.
He might be like maybe at the top of the second round if they trade out. But yeah, I tell you, I mean, there's just so many of them. And you can make a case for any one of like 15 guys to go in the first round. But again, it's going to come down to, and I'm repeating myself, but what Nick said in terms of how those personal meetings go, because the athleticism, the route running, it's all there. There's plenty of guys that they have to choose from, even if they stick at 32.
Yep, true.
And also Mitchell too. He did something like them Texas guys did pretty good. Mitchell and Worthy did good too. Mitchell was built just like
I think
if you look at it, he's built just like DK Metcalf, the same size, a little bit.
He's a little lighter, but he's a big dude, 6'4", over 200 pounds.
Those two guys are good scheme fitting guys because they both kind of like slender, got agility. They're to me are good scheme fitting guys. If you want speed and agility, but my biggest take from these guys is, can you catch?
That's the key. Can you catch in a sit? Can you catch?
You can run fast as heck and miss the ball. You can run fast as heck and drop a pass. So can you catch?
Lou said that on the same show. He said that about Worthy. He said he was just having flashbacks of
again. I just the kid's drop rate was really improved this past season over the season before. I still wouldn't take him in the first round just because of his size relative to the other guys that you have an ability to get. Now, they might run 0.2 of a second slower, but in terms of the size, durability, if you're catching balls in the middle of the field and you're getting knocked around, it's nice to have that speed guy. But again, if you have a choice of a guy that runs maybe just a hair slower, but is 6'4" and over 200 that can get close, I'm going for the bigger guy.
Yeah, don't do Clyde Edwards-Helaire when there's better running back. Don't fall in love with this guy. And listen. I mean, Clyde, until the injury against the Saints, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a great pick, and he just never recovered. But there were better running backs that went after him.
Is that Blake Corum this year? He wins the national championship, scored all those touchdowns for Michigan, but maybe not quite that guy.
I don't know. He's really good though. I mean, he's a
really
good.
Well, so is Clyde.
He's a better clutch running back. You know what I'm saying? Third down.
Nice, though.
Edwards-Helaire was really good in open space, and he had those mammoth offensive linemen.
Michigan had 6 offensive linemen at the combine.
Yeah.
6.
I mean,
let that sink in your spirit.
And two of them
you only start 5. Okay?
Yeah, they have 6.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, you know, 2 of those are going to the Chargers at some point.
Hey, Nick, I just thought about that too. I just thought about it. He's gonna bring in some of his guys with him. He's bringing in some of his guys.
Heck yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 3 or 4 of his guys on the roster that he played with.
But you think they're gonna let Pat pick this guy this time? You know what I mean? Because they said Pat picked Clyde Edwards. He said he
also picked Rice. So it's 50-50.
That's what they said, but hey, I don't know if Pat don't got Bud Light, we ain't let him pick no picks.
No. You let Patrick. You listen. I mean, I think there were 2 things about that. I mean, we all listen. Everybody after we picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the national guys, they were in fits. They couldn't believe that he fell 32. They couldn't believe he was going to the Chiefs.
I was the other way.
Okay, you were certainly one of the minority groups at this point because everybody, I mean, New England fans, Bengals fans, Bills fans are like, oh my God, how does this guy fall? And again, until that game where he got injured against the New Orleans Saints, where he got bent in half, his career was never the same. But you can't, when you got a Jonathan Taylor, that doesn't go until the second round, and you're looking at the pretty, of the moment guy. Look at the guy who's been steady for 4 years, not a guy who played great his senior year. And I think the Chiefs have learned that. They've learned that valuable lesson. And I'll give them a pass on last year's draft. Picking last because the guys they wanted kind of weren't there, and they didn't want to disappoint the home crowd by trading it out.
The jury's still out on FAU.
Of course it is. Of course, if FAU is going to have, listen, his coaching staff is going to be back. He'll be injury free in the offseason. He was injured last year. I've watched enough film on him at Kansas State, and I'm telling you right now, the guy can play football and he can play defense and he can make an impact. And he's a 5, 6, 7 sack guy if they put him in the right situations. And he can physically develop at the NFL level by having a solid offseason. So if they can make Mike Dana a star, they can make FAU a star.
I don't know if Mike's a star. I mean, he's good.
He saved the first 10, 12 games of the year. He was one of their most consistent players.
Oh,
and he made play after play after play, and he ran out of gas. He ran out of gas. He was a star for this defense this year.
Out of gas.
Yeah, no, he was a star for this defense this year. And
we'll see what kind of market he has. That'll be interesting.
Good one.
No,
all right, guys.
It'll be interesting to see, though.
Yeah, no, that's
irrelevant. Real quick, guys. Real quick. What are y'all thoughts on Caleb Williams right now? What y'all thoughts on Caleb Williams? The whole interview process, how he was looking at everything in the combine. What are your thoughts?
I got 3 letters.
Come on with it.
RUN. Run away. Run. I don't want any part of this kid. It's going to be a nightmare. Absolutely,
that boy speaks his mind. That boy speaks his mind about everything.
Absolutely, the NFL is not ready for him. NFL
he speaks
ready
his mind. That's a good point.
If he's going to Chicago, that is the wrong head coach to be matched with. I'm sorry, that would be.
Well, that boy speaks his mind by.
That's Ryan. That's Ryan Leaf times 2.
That's why I said when I seen him play, man, I'm sticking to it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stick to it. A guy from LSU, way better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
Daniels,
I feel Daniels is way better quarterback. Caleb Williams, you look at him, okay, cool. You do this, do that, but everybody, like everybody said in the chat last Sunday, some people feel like he's a bust. You know what I mean? And maybe he is. Maybe he come out to be great. Maybe, but I know with my eyes, you know what I mean. I know I got some.
I do agree.
I got 20/20 vision. I see very well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So they say. So Trahan says Caleb Williams is drama. She said he's drama. He is.
Where's been the drama in Caleb Williams though?
The thing is, Luke, he speaks his mind about everything.
Where's the drama? What's he done? What's he done that's been so horrible?
Did you watch his interview at the combine?
I did.
So what you take from that, Lou? What did you take from that, Lou?
I thought he was engaging. He's doing things a different way, and we've seen it in the past where guys have done things differently. He's the first one. He's coming into the league already a millionaire. I'm sure there have been others in the past, but legally. Right. So it doesn't look quite the same, or he doesn't do the medicals. Well, he doesn't want the whole league getting his medicals. It's his decision.
No, I get that, but my understanding, but I don't care if he wants to do things differently. I'm totally fine with that. In fact, I give him. He
didn't say anything controversial. He didn't do anything.
Let me talk.
He went to the drills. Hell, he went to the DB drills to watch one of his teammates.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
but you're going to put him in Chicago again. You're putting him in Chicago with a lame duck head coach.
But that doesn't have anything to do with Caleb Williams.
It has everything to do with it because he's not the right personality to fit. If you don't have an Andy Reid type with Caleb, it's not going to work.
How many of those are there, Nick?
Okay,
how many Andy Reid types are there?
Caleb knows one thing and one thing only. He plays the game a certain way.
Right.
Look at Patrick Mahomes. He came into the league playing the game a certain way. And what did he do?
Right.
He adjusted once, twice, 3 times. Every year he's had to make adjustments. Caleb Williams is not that guy. He was going to want
that though.
Because he wasn't that guy at USC. Because he couldn't.
Patrick.
Hold on.
At Texas Tech.
He didn't make the adjustments this year at USC. He had a statistically
did Patrick at Texas Tech, but he had great games, and then he had games where maybe he got a little loose.
But Patrick was never considered a great quarterback in college. He was considered a statistical guy.
Brett Veach thought he was the best player he'd ever seen.
You're missing the point, dude.
What's the point?
You're missing the point. The point is they came into the league, and they came into the league completely different. Mahomes was
the situation that I agree with.
Okay, the situations were different.
He has no control over that. I don't know where the drama is in Caleb Williams. What has he done that's been so dramatic?
The drama is if he wants to do things different, that's great. But the NFL is not about that. They don't want that. They don't allow that. They're going to try to change this kid. And it's not going to work. And that's the problem. Mahomes was changeable. You could change his footwork, and you could change his the way he reads defenses, and you can change the cast around him. With Caleb Williams, I don't see that. That's just me. Now he could prove me wrong and be the greatest quarterback of all time. But I agree. I would take the kid at LSU first. I would take him over Caleb because, again, guys, I mean, we've seen it. You look at all these great quarterbacks that have come in the league and they've struggled because they're going to the wrong team.
Well, that's a different conversation in terms of one over the other.
But that makes my whole point.
Where's the drama in him?
How are you
the fact that he's like the first NIL kid to come in, and he's not dictating where he wants to go. Hell, John Elway in 1983 said, "I refuse to play for this team."
Yeah.
Eli Manning, his family, no, I'm not going to play in San Diego. Caleb, there was reports of that, but I mean, he met with those teams. He interviewed with 4 or 5 teams, and he knows he doesn't have to interview with everybody. He doesn't have to show everybody his medical. So
I don't care about any of that.
If that's the worst of it, he can play. Whether he develops or not, that I agree with you. We'll see. Okay. Can Shane Waldron?
I have my doubts.
Can Shane Waldron do that? They do not have a veteran quarterback on that team.
No.
So that's going to be an issue.
They don't have the receivers. They don't have the backs. They don't have the offensive.
Well, they've got DJ Moore. They've got Cole Kmet. They've got the 9th pick. They've got other draft picks. So it's a build for sure.
If he's a bear, I'm going to be shocked.
I'm going to say this. Kyrie Irving and Caleb Williams kind of similar because they both speak their minds. My biggest take from Caleb Williams is he speaks his mind. Mm-hmm. He's not let nobody dictate nothing for him. He's going to
just said all that.
Kyrie thinks the world is flat. Okay.
Caleb Williams had the same personality.
He heard his draft. He heard his draft status.
But the thing about me, man, is with Caleb Williams, it's just not. It's not. He don't want to, pony up and be like everybody else. It's just the odd thing for me. You know, I see Daniels, I see Caleb, I say I will go with Daniels because I feel like Daniels, he stays in the pocket. He's dropping dimes. Yes, he had better receivers. Yes, it may be, you know, that's what they say. He had better receivers. But in the day, you know, even though Caleb Williams just had Brandon Rice, but again, the guy, I feel like Daniels is way better because his vision, the way he moves, the way he was there neck to neck. You know, he put up numbers with that. But Caleb Williams, I just won't choose him personally. I think everybody say compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but nobody in this world.
There's no one like Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes right about now. I not just saying, just as a Chiefs fan, I'm just saying right now, there's nobody that's compared to Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
The only comparison
everybody trying to compare Jordan to everybody to Jordan, but Jordan just Jordan. Nobody can't beat Jordan.
Well, right, I think the comparison comes is where you see the off schedule stuff, the way he throws the ball, all the arm angles, and so forth. Now, Patrick had a huge advantage that his dad was a professional athlete, that in his mind, he knew that he had a long way to go to become a great player.
He was humble.
And then the PhD class that he got from Alex Smith in terms of learning how to play quarterback and coming into a winning organization. So that's where I see where it could go astray with a Caleb Williams or with Jaden Daniels or any of these kids.
On that part, right? Yeah, I do. Definitely.
So he did come into a much different situation. So we can't look at Caleb now and what Patrick is now because it's light years apart.
Let me say one more thing, and then you can do the fans out there.
You good?
LSU was not expected to be great this year. They had better talent a year ago than they had this last season, and they surpassed expectations. They exceeded expectations. And for the local fans, if you watch that game he had against Missouri in particular, this kid has that it factor, and he worked so hard. And USC, same thing. They had great talent a year ago. This past season, not as good. And you can see the difference in the statistics, how far these quarterbacks took their teams. That's what I look at. Now, you know, Caleb could be the greatest quarterback to come out of college ever. Could be all of these things. But the only reason that, you know, Patrick Mahomes is successful, Joe Burrow is successful, you know, Josh Allen is successful, Brock Purdy is successful, is Lamar that they Jackson. Fell to the Lamar Jackson, yes, 2 degree.
You better say it.
No, I'm not. I'll say 2 degree. He'll never go to a Super Bowl, 100%. That said, I think yeah, exactly. You just look at the progress these guys made the last year of playing ball with teams that were expected to be better, that these quarterbacks, one made them really good and better, the other one made them average. And Absolutely. If I'm Caleb Williams and he can talk all he wants to about wanting to go to the Bears, he doesn't care. He'll be the first round pick. He doesn't want to go to the Bears. There's no way it's not the right fit, and he knows it. So this is his way of saying, hey, I'm going to talk to 2 or 3 teams. These are the 2 or 3 teams I will play for. And I'm sure he's made it perfectly clear to one of these 3 teams, you need to trade for me. So I wouldn't believe anything that went on this week. And I think I'm just not a fan of his game. I'm just not a fan of the way he's entering the National Football League and the stuff that took place last year at USC. And you're right, Lou. I mean, he's coming in a multi-gazillionaire. Yeah. You know, he's probably got 10, 15 $million, if not more, in the bank. Yep. And, you know, that changes your perspective. That skews it. I mean, good point, and if you're coming in with a wad of cash, you know, what's your incentive? Your incentive better be to find my talents on the best team possible.
The guys in the top 5 do get wads of cash when they sign the first deal too.
But still, it does change your perspective. It's
their first check, and they looking at it. Okay, man, how can
because you're not hungry no more. You're not hungry no more. Right?
You already been fed steak and eggs. Right? You already been fed. You coming in like, do I got to come in today?
Right there, you go.
He's got the car. He's bought the houses for his family and his cousins, and he's done all these things already.
Feeling yourself,
right?
See, but the thing is, Daniels have that, but Then you showing up at the meeting. Then you showing up to what he got to go to. Then he's doing everything like that. So, but let's get before we get into the fans.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Let's hear one more time from the sponsors. Go ahead, Nick.
All right, let's talk about first Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. You can reach Eric at 816-729-3785 or esaleskc@gmail.com. He is your real estate advisor. He is my real estate advisors. We're down the stretch. Emily and I are very happy with the service he provided, his friendship. I've known him for 20 plus years. You know, he's a guy you trust. You got to find someone who can walk you through from finding a house to getting the keys, turning the locks, and walking into your house and saying, this is ours. That's Eric Haynes. Give Eric a call at 816-729-3785 or email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor, Chief Who.
That's correct. And also a very proud sponsor is my very good friend, Mr. Dave Purdy. We used to work in the lending business together a long time ago and ran into Dave and stayed in touch. And he's put together a great financial package for us to put together a really good rate and a really good mortgage for my family so we can move into our new house next month. He has walked with us through the entire process. I'm 1099. It makes it a lot different than W-2. It's a lot more challenging. But Dave took care of it, got everything done. You can reach Dave at 816-405-5831. We love Dave because he is
Pretty good.
That's right.
Go ahead, Dre.
Sam says this real quick. Sam says this. Sam said, I don't care if he is doing things differently, but with that being said, he got to show up and show out, because if he doesn't show up, then show up to the standard they think he will be, is going to be bad for him. And then Trahan says this. She says he's going to end up being a bust.
Merrily.
All right, here we go. Frank says this. So many options at 32. I wouldn't press for anything. Plenty of talent to choose from. Draft capital from Snead, tag, trade, incoming too.
Frank and I think would get along.
Yeah, then we need to get Frank. we need to get Frank on the show. I think that would be entertaining.
Oh man,
Frank, bring the Crown Royal.
Oh ahead, snap! That's a hint. So I'm gonna say this, guys. Honestly, for real, I'm gonna piggyback off what Nick just said. It's all about the scheme and the coaching, man. For any of these players, man, even from the wide receivers, it's all about what scheme fits you.
How can you question for coach? How can you question somebody that already got the bag, right, and they're young, and you trying to, then they showing that they, some people say I don't care attitude. How can you coach something like that? How can you make them, bring back to what they had before? I think that would depend on players in college. Everybody deserves what they want, you know what I mean? Either because they're making money off of college players anyway. But I think it's sometimes it's some young kids. It could, that's a lot of money at young.
Because to answer your question real quick, Bo, it's like you really can't. It's about who they are, because once you get the money, what kind of person are you now? Like, okay, I got the bag, I fed my family, so now I'm here. So now, do I focus directly on football? Like this right here gonna tell me everything. Or now I got the money. Now, what kind of person am I now? All right, I got the money, so now do I want to win a championship now?
That's why I said. That's why you look at the combine and you see the guys out there trying to break records like Worthy. You see the guys that's hungry. Like, look, I want that record. That's what I came here for. My focus is on football. I don't care what the outside noise. I'm here to study, and I'm ready to break the lead and come in by storms. But again, is Caleb Williams going to be a bust? Who knows? I didn't say he was going to be a bust. I'm just saying that I will choose Daniels.
You would take Neighbors over Williams, sir. You say Neighbors over Williams because of Brian Thomas. All right, because of Brian Thomas. Because of Brian Thomas. That's all.
I'm taking Brian Thomas over everybody in the draft. It was me. If I had to choose,
do you love football, or do you love what football can do for you?
Right.
That's a
great question.
Every question I ask all young kids.
Every evaluator. I mean, you know the answer you're going to get if you ask them that way. But there's many ways in the interview process that you can try to learn that. But until you get them on the grass and you get them out there, in training camp, and you see what's what,
off social media.
You look at it. You look at a guy like Rome at the end of everything. He was pissed off that his 3-cone wasn't exactly what he trained to, and he's there like after everybody. All right. That tells you a little bit something. He wasn't posing for the cameras or, it was a stunt. So little things that you can see, but rest assured, Jaden Daniels made millions of dollars at LSU.
Oh, sure he did. There's no question.
May made millions of dollars at North Carolina. So
but is it showing though?
But it's like that for everyone.
Yeah,
true.
These are all
okay. So Jaden Daniels came in. What did he get weighed, measured, whatever, and he left? So does that say something about him?
It does.
But the thing I said, I would take Brian Thomas or Worthy or these guys over everybody else. Brian Thomas, after the combine was over, Indianapolis.
Like Brian, he's good.
Look, listen. After the combine was over, they was shutting down any everything. Look on Indianapolis website. This guy was over there catching tennis balls. He was going back over the drills that he missed out on. That's the guy I want in this locker room. That's the guy that we want in the locker room. We don't want this guy that's okay. I come and do it. What you gonna do when practice is over? What you gonna do is keep making yourself better when nobody else is watching. What you gonna do then? That's the type of guys I want.
That's why you got the area scouts that go and watch the guys, and they watch them practice, and they see who stays.
Look it up. Go on Twitter, you'll see it. You over there catching tennis balls. They turn the light off in the building.
They talk to people afterwards. And Caleb Williams stayed till the end, and he was like going by all the people that worked the event and the guys that worked the drills and like congratulating them, introducing himself. Does that tell you something?
No, you're right. I mean, again, this is a debate we're going to have well into the end of next year.
But these are the conversations that I'm sure teams have in those rooms, right? They have to.
Right.
No, you have to. And remember,
Coach, good question. Good question to ask everybody.
And remember, real quick, at the combine, you get 10, 15 minutes, and then it's the personal invites you get where you can have the guy in for a day and an overnight, and you can spend a lot of time with him. You can spend an hour or all day. So again, we'll see. We'll find out. Listen, I hope Williams takes it by storm. That'd be fun to watch, and Mahomes will beat him in the playoffs as well. So
you had to go there.
Nothing stopping this three-peat from happening. I'm telling you that right now.
Since this was your question, Dre, because we got off, Dre threw that question in there. I was going to ask everybody because I said on Friday we would bring it up on Monday. Right. What's everybody's surprise pick, or what's your golden gem in this draft? Everybody know who mine is. But do you know me? But who are you got? What's the guy that you want, and what the guy that you want to build around? If you had to choose, if you was a GM.
Luke. If I had to choose
for any team, any position,
like your hidden gem that no one is actually talking about.
Hidden gem. Wow, man, that's
I don't know. Now again,
I got a lot of players, man.
Now I don't know if I build around this guy, but my guy on Pros Like Us he's an offensive lineman. I don't know if I mentioned him on our show, but his name is Roger Rosengarten. He's an offensive tackle from Washington. Now, the other tackle, the left tackle, is getting a lot of hype. He'll probably be a first-round pick. But this kid, redshirt junior, started all 28 games. He played at right tackle, but of course they had the lefty quarterback, so he was the blindside guy for Penix. Moves well. He ran a sub-5 40 in the combine. 6'6", 300 pounds. So if the Chiefs are looking for like a left tackle or just a swing tackle, he's kind of I don't know if he's under the radar, but he's definitely not a first round, maybe not even a second round guy, but maybe in the third round. Roger Rosengarten, right tackle, Washington.
Go check the highlights.
Man, I say Joe Alt, man.
He's really hidden. He's like 6'9", 340, top 5 guaranteed.
He's the biggest piece of coal. He's the biggest piece of coal in the draft. I'm telling you, got to sign him up, man. Listen, look, honestly, to build around that tackle, to build around that guy, man. Listen, bro. To build around him, man.
Partners at 4. You taking Joe Alt?
Yes.
Most definitely.
They have to.
Most definitely. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying they're passing on Harrison Jr.?
Give me that left tackle.
I gotta get protected though, Lou. I gotta get somebody to protect my blind.
I'm not questioning that, but you seem pretty high on
definitely.
Harrison.
I am high on Harrison, but I would take what I need before I take what I want.
There's a lot of people that are gonna be sitting there at 27 too for the Chiefs when they get,
you can't find a lot of tackles like you can't find a lot of tackles like man. You can't find a lot of those.
Who's your hitting guy that ain't talking about, Lou? I mean, Nick.
I gave him to you.
You know what? Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not.
You want another one?
I'm not. I haven't spent enough time on the draft. I'm just gonna say Bowers.
We know Bowers your guy off the rip.
The whole house.
All right, let me give you another one.
Let me put it this way. I think. Give me a running back that you think that's going to be there at the end of round 2. That is a DeAndre Swift kind of running back. That's who I want with the Chiefs' second pick.
You may not see a running back picked until that time. You got a lot of speed. The kid Benson from Florida State, the kid from Texas. I mean, you got a few, but I've got one that's a little bit under the radar that might be more the Pacheco type.
I can see the route to Lou.
He wasn't able to work out at the combine because he tore a pec or bicep. So he might not be ready right away, but he played at Marshall. Rasheen Ali, huge week at the Senior Bowl. Looked quick, a lot of good contact balance. He wasn't getting tackled right away. But let me see, what do I have on him? He had in 21, he had 20 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. 22, he was injured. He didn't play the whole season. 23, over 1,100 yards, 16 touchdowns. Played at Marshall. So again, this might be more the Pacheco type guy.
Yeah,
that's a little bit later on that they just sneak in but we'll see, because I don't know how soon he'll be able to play, and that might be another reason that he gets pushed down in the draft.
23 touchdowns in 2021. Whew.
Yeah, I got a bunch of corners like my hidden gems, which is too many. I got a lot of corners, man. That I've been watching. A lot of people don't know.
My hidden gem is a guy from North Carolina, Walker. A lot of people ain't giving him no love for real. Like the Walker, what he's doing, what he did in North Carolina. And he did good at the combine too. So if he's there, maybe in the second or third round, I feel like he's gonna fall around that range. If he's in the first round and somebody think highly of him, they take him there, they probably will. But I can see him falling in the second or the third round, or maybe in the fourth,
There's so many like legitimate receivers that
it is, man.
You're going to see guys get pushed down, and they'll be drafted lower than they normally would in a regular year. Now, I don't know. Maybe this is going to be the norm going forward with this many good receivers, just because of the advancement of the position and the way
this is going to be an endless train.
The way these kids play in high school, and and for the future. Again, it may go the same route as running backs, where we don't want to pay a second contract. We'll draft you, we'll use you for 4 or 5 years, and then
out the door you go. Yep, that's the new way of the NFL.
Well, hold on, give me a second, Bo. All right, give me a second, because Kareem eating over here. All right, so Kareem says Shipley or Lloyd is his hidden gem.
Right. Marshawn Lloyd, kid from USC.
Then he said Ray Davis from Kentucky had a good Senior Bowl as well. Then he said the last one was he definitely is. He said my hidden gem ain't hitting no more since he blew up in the combine.
Yep.
I don't think Worthy was ever hidden.
No, not anymore.
But it's okay, Kareem. We knew he was fast. He was good to run fast.
Yeah. I think the receiver from Florida State, the Coleman, right?
Keon Coleman,
Keon Coleman, right?
Player. Michigan
them hands
State.
he showed on that drill, that catch and drill. I was like, wow.
I think the GPS speed saved him, because he ran like 4.6 and everybody else was running 4.3, 4.4, 4.2 even. But but he was like the fastest doing the gauntlet.
I mean, catch. Bop, bop, bop. I'm talking about in game. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's what I want to see. Speed with the hands.
Now,
That's all I
it's
wanna
one
see.
thing before we close out. It was one thing that came out that I think it was Brandon Wright's son that said it, or it was Brandon Thomas. It was one of them guys that said it. I mean, it was Mitchell. Mitchell said that he would love to see that they bring in one-on-ones, corners versus DBs. What you think about that if they bring that into the combine?
Oh man, I love that.
Fewer guys will work. Fewer guys will work out because
Yeah,
they're worried about getting hurt.
They're gonna bust some knees.
Yeah, they won't do it.
Did you see
knees,
the offensive linemen were dropping like flies running the 40? I mean, do they really need those guys running 40s?
It's not pretty, man.
Hey,
that don't really mean nothing for linemen. That's a good point. Why
they want to see that? They want to see that 10-yard split, 20-yard split. I think that's good.
Yeah, for screen plays, huh?
All right, Greg, give our shout outs, Jay.
All right, Kareem, of course. What up, Kareem? Kareem always the day one. Trahan, Joe was on here. See Kareem, Sam, my guy Sam, and Frank always
brings it, man.
Yes, he
Love
does.
We need to start a Chief Splits Canada division. So we're gonna make you president, Frank. So
Frank, you head
start
that
recruiting.
up.
Start recruiting Chiefs fans up there, and
come on.
We'll have some fun. Maybe have a Chiefs draft party at your house.
Hey, Frank, give us 5,000 people and get all the Nick stuff. You give us 5,000, 5,000, we get everything from Nick's house.
We'll live stream it.
Wow. Giving my stuff away.
He said, Nick in his shirt, in his headphones, everything must go.
Everything must go, man.
But you have
give us 2 million views.
But you need to be a subscriber.
Yeah,
you need to be a subscriber.
We need
whatever you want to do
subs. You need 5 million. Give us 5 million subs, and you got it.
It's all good.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Go ahead. We'll be back on Wednesday at noon. We're gonna be talking more of the what's happening in the free agency, who's getting tagged, and everything.
The return
like that.
Chief Who.
The return Chief Who. Yes, so you guys are gonna have to carry the show Wednesday. I will be out of town, so I will not be on Wednesday's show. I'll set everything up for you so you guys can do as you please. You got keys to the kingdom, man.
It'll be like bow tie on hump day.
So with that said, we'll see you guys Wednesday.
All right, peace out, everybody. Be safe.